Keep your fat American asses glued to the couch. After this, we're bringing all you lovely white women a fresh new true crime mystery on Dateline, Murdering of Mayor X.
Not even this could make that interesting. Boring.
It's time. Do you have the chip?
Yeah, remind me is what we're doing again?
Stealing the Adobe Suite source code.
I got nothing better to do. It's actually kind of like that game I've been playing, Jack Move. Well, this is the card he mentioned. Here goes nothing.
Dude, will you turn that shit off?
Come on, man, it fits the mood.
I swear to God, if I have to hear this song one more time...
Fine. We're almost there anyway. See that building over yonder? The Adobe Suite source code is on the top floor.
So we just take it in DC?
In layman's terms, yeah.
Won't security be on our ass?
Astute observation, nerd. However, the Chinese super hackers are already occupying the brunt of the Adobe Cyber Police. Our voyage will have but little resistance.
Can you please stop talking like that?
Stop right there.
I'm afraid I can't let you two proceed. While this is completely ethical, it is also highly illegal. And as a man of the law, I cannot let you continue.
Yeah? You think you're gonna stop me? Ow.
It's a shame that the ranks of the gifted ones would include such thieving scum such as yourself.
Hey, I think this guy means business. The cyberpunk genre holds a special place in my heart. Whether it's the rain-soaked neon aesthetics, the anti-authoritarian attitude, or the transhumanism tropes that often go hand in hand with the genre, it is truly one of a kind. So whenever an interesting game within the genre appears, I try and look into it. And occasionally I find one that's pretty interesting. Enter Jack Move. The game was made by So Romantic, a Taiwanese developer that has made a few smaller titles, with Jack Move appearing to be the biggest project to date. Jack Move is available for all three consoles as well as Steam. I'm playing the Steam version for this review. So how does it hold up? Well, let's get into that. Jack Move starts out with the main character Noah, without an H, waltzing into what seems to be an industrial zone. She talks to some bald guy and immediately gets accosted by a security guard. Here, the players are introduced to the battle system. Compared to other JRPGs, Jack Move's battle system might seem complex, but in reality, it's pretty simple. I'll cover it a little bit more in depth later, but the basics go as follows. There are 4 types of attacks: physical, cyberware, wetware, and electroware. Each are effective on specific types of enemies, and Noah can use all of these elements depending on how the player builds her. Noah also has no inherent element, making her sturdier than most enemies. This is key because Noah is the only playable character. After Noah commits casual homicide, she decides that it isn't enough and proceeds to add breaking and entering into the list of crimes for this evening. Once in the office building, players are made aware of the threat level indicator. This shows off how likely players are to get attacked in a random encounter. Think the threat orb from the Etrian Odyssey series. At this point, the player proceeds through a linear dungeon, encountering basic bitch enemies and dispatching them. As Noah ascends the building, she finds a computer or some shit that she needs to hack. After hacking, it's revealed that Noah can no longer return the way she came. so she climbs the building even further. In the next room, players will notice a soda machine. Soda machines act as full restore points. These usually pop up shortly before a boss fight or midway through a dungeon. Once Noah arrives at the roof, she is attacked by a slightly more powerful group of guards. During this fight, players gain access to their first Jack move. Jack moves are basically ultimate moves that allow players to deal damage to all enemies in the fight. Of course, this being an extremely powerful ability, players must first max out the JM meter by dealing and taking damage before they can use it. Once this move is selected, a short QuickTime event happens where the player must input a code that appears like some Guitar Hero shit. Successfully inputting the code boosts the Jack move's potency. Even if the player somehow fails, the attack still goes through. After killing the guard, even more of them appear. Bald Guy tells Noah to jump off the building, so she does. The screen fades to black and the title appears. Welcome to Jack Move.
We're going down, down. Do you think your giant space meatball is gonna do anything?
I cannot do that here.
Oh, shit. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen.
Temporary truce?
Jack Move is a pretty run-of-the-mill JRPG. The game is fun, but due to some choices, it will never achieve the greatness that it could. That's not to say it's bad, it just left me wanting more than what I got. One of the coolest things about Jack Move is the ability to create what is essentially a loadout. Hardware functions as a more traditional equipment system. Most of these just boost various stats, but some of these do more interesting things like increase JM gain, add an auto counterattack, or massively boost all offensive stats at the cost of defense. Software, on the other hand, is the active abilities within Jack Move. You know, magic in a more traditional setting. Noah's software and Jack moves both gain experience each time they are used. While I think this is a cool idea, I have absolutely no idea how this changes anything. Players will be primarily using their software to dish out damage as well as heal and buff themselves. Hardware and software is pretty limited at the start, hardware only having 1 slot and software having 3. By end game, you can get up to 3 slots for hardware and 16 for software. Mind you, most software costs at least 2 slots. By mid-game, Noah's physical attacks are going to be nearly useless. The battle system is built around utilizing Noah's software effectively. The game emphasizes this by allowing players to spend a turn to completely change out their software. However, I never needed to do this in my entire playthrough. At all times, my loadout consisted of 1 offensive electro, wet, and cyberware, as well as a healing software. Unfortunately, it was so easy, it made the idea of alternate builds feel pointless. This is probably my primary gripe with the game. In my opinion, the biggest draw to Jack Move is the ability to completely customize how Noah engages in combat. However, in most encounters, enemies are color-coded, making it nearly impossible to guess the wrong element to attack with. And even if the player were to suddenly drop to sub-80 IQ, choosing the wrong attack has no consequence because enemies don't have built-in resistances. It's here where the more strategic options of buffing and debuffing enemies becomes obsolete, as most are dispatched with ease. The argument comes down to the age-old, why spend a turn powering myself up or weakening my enemy when I can just damage my enemy. This is an issue that is only exacerbated with single-person turn-based RPGs, and Jack Move does nothing to mitigate that problem. It doesn't completely kill the game, but it definitely hurts it. No RPG is complete without its cast. Noah is a sassy hacker with red hair. She falls into that hot-headed tomboy archetype, and this harms her ability to empathize with others. This can create conflict with her partner in crime, Ryder, a bald, wheelchair-bound gay dude who lost his boyfriend a year before the events of the game. He's still dwelling on that, and Noah has autism or something, so she struggles to understand the pain he's going through. Then there's Gwyn, Noah's uncle. He's a bit of a weirdo, but he's a useful weirdo. He's an ex-corporate spy who participated in a war that took place before the events of Jack Move. There are a few other supporting characters that are interesting as well, like the mafia goon with the girlfriend issues, and the pizza man who's a victim of labor trafficking. Most NPCs will also have multiple dialogues depending on the progress of the story. This is pretty cool as it fleshes out these characters, even if just a little. Some of the NPCs will give out quests. These side quests themselves are a little substance, but they're worth doing just for the rewards. Jack Move's story is semi-interesting if predictable. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to be vague as fuck. Noah's father, who she hasn't spoke to in years, goes missing. So Noah and her ragtag gang of cyberpunks attempt to track him down. As the story progresses, the gang uncovers what Noah's father has been doing all these years, and this opens up more questions. Questions like what it means to truly be a person. Don't get me wrong, it's not a philosophical deep dive, but the tropes are present. The pixel art for Jack Move is buttery smooth.
Like a hot knife through butter!
The locations players traverse are highly detailed, with beautiful design and a lighting system to go with it. The characters are incredibly expressive as well, both in battle and out. It's one of the more impressive pixel art games when it comes to combining retro and modern design philosophy, aka that shit don't clash. While the graphics of Jack Move are notable, the music is largely forgettable. A lot of the times when I'm playing through a game and I hear a song or two that really vibes with me, I'll wind up looking up the OST. Yeah, that's right, I listen to game OSTs. I'm a nerd, what the hell did you expect? But in the case of Jack Move, nothing really jumped out at me. It's a case of it's not bad, but it's not really good either. Overall, Jack Move is a charming little RPG. Sure, it won't blow your mind in terms of gameplay or story, but it's still a fun little game to play and a decent option if you're new to the genre and looking for something you can beat in a couple days. The only issue I really had with this game was the dev neglecting to double down and emphasize what was a very interesting loadout system by creating battles that push the player to utilize everything about it. The only battle that actually caused me any trouble was the final boss. However, it should be noted that this is a solo dev endeavor, and for what the game is, I still enjoyed it enough to play it through to completion, which is something I find myself doing less and less these days. My playthrough ended at around the 6-hour mark. I really wish there was some sort of higher difficulty mode, as there really isn't much of a reason to replay the game. I really hope that if the dev behind Jack Move is going to make another JRPG, he takes the systems that were set in place by this game and expands on them 100%, because this is a really unique system that I really like. Either way, the game is pretty enjoyable, and I appreciated that I could casually dip my toes into the game for a couple hours every weekend. As is typical with my reviews, if you're interested in checking out Jack Move, I will have a link to the Steam page in the description below.
By the power invested in the Adobe's piracy prevention program with both the Adobe Corporation and the Alter America Penal System Code 4.5.2, which states any individual attempting to hack, pirate, or otherwise harm or reduce the value of Adobe Corporation can be legally terminated with extreme prejudice. Your right to existence has been revoked. Please stand down for use of lethal. You bastard!
Hiya!
Hey, Summy G, who's piloting this thing?
AI, of course. Holy moly.
Many bright ideas?
DC, DC, DC!
Well, I certainly hope this doesn't have any long-lasting ramifications.